All right, good morning. Let me speak to our online students. Good morning, everyone. If you can hear me, please. Yeah, the sound is up now. If you can hear me, kindly indicate that you can hear me. And if you can see the slide, kindly indicate that you can see the slide. If you can both hear me and slide. Okay, Mustafa, thank you. All right. Williamino. Sound is up, Aliu. Sound is back up. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so we are going to comment now. We're going to comment now. So today I made a surprise call to university. So those of us that are physically here are going to be having a quick chat with me after class one-on-one. Any question you have, just one question. Okay, excellent. Thank you everyone for joining us. Ebeli, thank you. I can't call everybody's name. Yeah, Bilikisu, Ibrahim, Mustafa, Abdul Rashid. I usually call your names because you are joining online, but today we have a few of us live in class. All right, so we're going to commence. We're just waiting. We're going to commence anyways. A few people are going to be joining us as we go on. Yeah, we're not going to wait for anyone beyond this. All right. So before we proceed on today's, we have 3 chapters we're covering today. So before we proceed on today's conversation, I would like to touch on the result of last week's quiz. So over 300 people, almost 400 people took the quiz, which was very good, very, very good. However, we have lots of complaints, and I will address them here because I received almost 40 emails with issues. Some people say they did not enter their email well, they did not enter their student ID well. Well, there's something about following instructions in life. If you are traveling and they say you should enter your passport number and you enter the wrong passport number, the airline will not correct it for you. That means that person cannot fly. And also, if you are writing a final exam and you enter a wrong matriculation number, which is your student ID, no matter how excellent what you wrote is, no matter how amazing it is, it invalidates what you have written. What you have written in that exam becomes null and void. So unfortunately, as much as we would like to assist, anybody that entered a wrong email address, but most importantly, a wrong student ID, that person's result is disqualified. There's nothing we can do about it. We cannot go and start looking for your question or your answer and start correcting your student ID. So please bear with us. Any query that comes that has to do with wrong student ID or someone not entering their student ID, that result is cancelled. There's nothing we can do. So is it 20 marks? Yes. The 20 marks for this particular quiz that we wrote last week, whoever did not enter their student ID has lost it. But there's still hope because passing score is 60% over 100. So that person has lost 20%. So the remaining 80%, that person can still try to meet up with it. All right. So that quiz is still coming up, and maybe next week we'll look at it. But you are going to have another 20%. Your attendance is very important. Your attendance is another 20%. Then your project, your capstone project is 40%. The project carries the highest weight. So you still have another chance to get more than 60%. 60% overall is your pass score for each of the courses. We have 5 courses we are doing in the blockchain program. The first one is blockchain fundamentals, which is what we've been doing the past 2 months. The reason why blockchain fundamentals is for 2 months is because it encompasses every other thing in the blockchain, right? After that, we are going to be talking about blockchain compliance. Then we'll do blockchain community management. Then we'll do crypto trading. We're still watching it. We're still watching the space. So if we get the green light from government, we'll touch crypto trading. And it's actually becoming positive. Then we'll also touch blockchain programming. Those are the 5 we are doing, the 5 courses we are doing in this blockchain technology program. But your capstone project will take care of everything. In your capstone project, you will practice what you have learned in the fundamentals, in community management, because you're going to sell your project. In compliance, those are the things we are going to check to judge you. That's what we are teaching you now. The programming, and if there's an element of digital asset, crypto in it, we will see it. All right. So for those of you that are, those of us that are online, please remember again, we are not going to repeat this quiz for anybody. Anybody that missed the quiz have missed it. There's no repetition because we said this over and over and over again. Then apart from that, anybody that entered the wrong student ID, that result is gone. We cannot correct it for anybody. So please bear with us. As much as we want to carry everybody along, we cannot go and start doing this repetition for everyone. Okay, today, before we wrap up, if we have the time, we are going to be having a friend that will join us and tell us something that we will use during the capstone project. So please, let's pay attention and let's try as much as possible to be in class till the end. All right, so quickly, let's jump into the conversation for 3 chapters. I will see how we can quickly finish them. So blockchain implementation. We tried to start it last week, but we had serious network issues. So bear with us. Today, we're not going to have network issues by God's grace, and we're going to finish it. So like we said last week, there are 3 or 4 considerations when you are working on your blockchain project before you implement it. The first is the cost. If this is a project that I want to put on the blockchain, the first thing you will check is how much will it cost you to develop this project? You must check it. The reason why most startups fail is they put a value to a project without checking the entire cost of development. So when they start developing, that's when they realize that the development costs we carry overhead, we carry infrastructure. You need to pay for services like Amazon Web Services, or if you're going to be storing your project in-house, you need to buy server. What type of server? What space do you need in that server? What storage space? Are you talking of 100 gig, 500 gig, 2 terabytes? Each of these sizes, these capacities cost money. You want to buy a hard drive, for instance, that is 2 gig. The market today for about 8,500 or 8,000 or 2,000 naira. You want to buy another hard drive that is 200 gig. Will it be the same price? No. You want to buy a larger hard drive that is 3 terabytes. Will it be the same price? No. Now, when you want to start your project, you don't know, you cannot really determine how large your storage space will be. So the best thing to do is to project. If today you are building for, say, 100 users, have you asked yourself, what's the viability of this project? Let's say it's an agricultural project. How many farmers are you onboarding? How many merchants, that is middlemen, if you want to use merchants, to receive the goods from the farmers and take the market? How many of them are you onboarding? Will the farmers need storage on your app? Will the merchants need storage on your app? Will the buyers need to create account storage on your app? All of these accounts that will be created on your project will need storage space. And this storage space, you will pay for it, right? If you want to store in-house on-prem, so you want to have your own server, physical server here, you will pay for electricity. You cannot carry cable to go and hang on any wire to get free power. They will cut it off and they can arrest you. You will pay for meter, prepaid meter. It's not sensible to use postpaid meter. Because if you use postpaid meter and the bill comes later, it might be too much for you. You need prepaid meter so that you can be seeing your consumption. Before I left where I was, I checked the meter and I saw the units remaining. I had to go back in and turn off the appliances that I know are not needed because I am not in that place. So if you are running an organization, you need to check all your costs to the minutest detail. Is somebody leaving AC on in the office and that person has walked out of the office? The AC is just blowing empty walls and chairs, tables and chairs. It is consuming your power and you will pay for it. If an investor comes today and gives you 10 million naira to run your startup, how long will that 10 million naira carry your business before it finishes or before you start making revenue? How much are you going to spend on marketing for that project? Mind you, the moment your app comes out, if it is the first, some other people will start copying it. So you have to prepare for aggressive marketing to be ahead of your competition. If the project you are building already has competitors, that means you are going into a red ocean. A red ocean is a business that is existing where other bigger businesses are already existing. So what do you do to make customers leave service provider A or app A to come to you? WhatsApp is an app. Telegram is another app. Signal is an app. And there are many like that. What is WhatsApp doing that is making many millions of people in the world go to them as against Signal, as against Telegram, and there are many other instant messaging apps? How much do you think WhatsApp is paying for server? How much do you think they are paying for advert? How much do you think they are paying for their overhead man-hour cost? You need to put all these things into consideration. That is where cost comes in. And if you cannot do it by yourself, don't break your head. Get somebody that can help you check the cost of your project. It is called outsourcing. In your business development plan, that is why a business plan is important. In your business plan, you should have what we call an action plan. The action plan will show you the steps you need to take for you to bring that project, or now it's no more a project, it is now a product. Once your app is ready, that app is a product. Even if that app is a service that is rendering service to people, it is still a product-based service. So you must check how much it will cost you to deliver that product into the hand of your customers. How do you want to do marketing? What language do you want to use that will make your customer, your prospective customer, download your app? I've seen people develop projects, very fantastic project, but nobody is downloading it. Why? Bad marketing. Or at the time they have finished the product, they don't have money for marketing. Some of them will go and meet celebrities to help them do marketing. But we have discovered that a celebrity has 10 million followers. You need to do all these checks. But when a celebrity makes a post, only 30 likes and 2 comments. Out of 10 million followers, what is happening at the background? They bought the followers. You go and meet that celebrity because you see 10 million followers and the celebrity tells you, or an influencer, they tell you, give us 2 million naira. We are going to announce your projects. We have 10 million followers. We have 10 million followers. And you did not check. You take the last 2 million naira that an investor gave you You give it to the influencer makes the post or even makes a video, only 30 likes and 2 comments. That project has failed. 6 months, 1 year, nothing is happening. You don't have money again to pay electricity bill. You don't have money to pay rent of the place because maybe you paid rent for 1 year and you felt like in 1 year you start selling. Nobody's buying the project. What do you think will happen? The project will fold up. And that's what has been happening to many startups. So it's not enough to be a good dev. It's not enough to be a good administrator. It's not enough to even be a good marketer. You need to do your project development cost analysis. It is very, very important. This is the business side of blockchain technology. And it cuts across any project you are building. If you are able to do this, it will help you survive the tough days. All right? Deployment costs. When you are finished developing the prototype, the deployment, I've touched on it as well. You need to know the cost of deployment. Of course, ongoing maintenance. You need to know the cost of your ongoing maintenance. You have this slide, take it and do more research because you will need this in your capstone project. Scalability. We have talked about scalability one time too many. So you are building your project and you say, okay, let's say you are building a project, an app for airline booking. It may sound far-fetched and high-sounding, but it will shock you. Go and do your check. Maybe go to FAAN, the Federal Airport Aviation, what's it called? FAAN. It's FAAN, right? Federal Airport or Federal Aviation Agency, something of Nigeria. Go to them and do a survey. How many people travel locally every day? It will shock you. In this same Nigeria that people are saying things are expensive, it will shock you to discover that every day, hundreds of thousands of people travel in Nigeria every day. If you can build an app that can link all the airlines together, somebody has already tried to build something like that. It's called AeroPay. I think AeroPay. I was among those that checked the beta testing when they were still developing it, but it has not gone mainstream yet, right? So if you build a solution like that can connect all the airlines together, and you can go to that app to buy a ticket. That app is built on the blockchain. Hopefully, before we start the main project, maybe I can bring the not gone mainstream. That's why I've not invited them. If you can build something like that, would you first of all want to check, which is what you should do, how many or the average number of people, Nigerians, that fly locally every day? That is your market. Those are your customers. There is no competition in that market yet because AeroPay is still trying to launch. They've been doing lots of work. So if you build something like that, you can either team with AeroPay, right, and make it bigger, or if you want to do your own from scratch, you need to know how many people are flying every day. It will shock you the money that is sitting there. My flight was delayed. And what AeroPay said is, if your flight is delayed, you can ask for a refund or a compensation. If your flight is cancelled and it affects you, you can ask for a refund or a compensation. Do you know how many flights? You should look for that data. Do you know how many flights are delayed every day in Nigeria? That is money for you. Do you know how many flights are cancelled every day in Nigeria? That is money for you, right? Also, when customers arrive at the airport late and they tell them, rebuy another ticket. Sometimes when you fly with that same airline, you will discover that the plane that they say you should buy another ticket is not full. So the airline might be shortchanging customers. Can your app be tied to the booking system of the airline to actually see that the airplane is not full. So instead of telling the customer to buy a full ticket, they can tell them to just pay a little late fee, maybe 5 or 10,000 naira. If the ticket is 120,000, maybe 5%, because the plane is not actually full. Can your app do that? Now, if your app can do all of that, do you know the number of people that want to download your app? I'm going to scalability. If you build that app for only 500 people and hundreds of thousands of people fly locally, maybe every month, let's not say every day because we don't know the figure. So you need to go and do that research. So let's say 200,000 people all over Nigeria. We're not talking of 200 million Nigerians, now just 200,000 people want to download your app. 200,000. And you did not prepare for such scalability. The app is going to break. You have wasted money. If an investor gave you 10 million to build that solution and the app breaks and people start complaining, they go to the Play Store or the iOS store and start giving bad reviews. If they do that and the iOS store or the Play Store delist your app from their market, it has crashed your business because you need to put it in the marketplace, the app marketplace, right? It's not everybody that like going to use APKs to install app. So you need to check scalability. That is even the least aspect of scalability. There are many other things that scalability can affect. So you need to check. Even if, let's say your app can accommodate 2 million people or 10 million people, but if 500,000 are daily, constantly using it concurrently, you now start experiencing congestion. That means that app is not scalable to carry large traffic. What do? If investors start calling you to say this app is slowing down, is hanging, is freezing, and people are not happy, how do you defend it? So you need to check that as well very well. Then, one very important aspect is the legal and regulatory compliance. In Nigeria now, in fact, all over the world, whatever it is you are doing, you must make sure you are on the right side of the law when it comes to the compliance and regulation. It's very important. I will not talk too much on this because by the grace of God, I'm going to be launching a book on compliance, but you will also be the first beneficiary because I'll be teaching you on compliance so that when the book comes out, you would have been grounded to hold a material that will help you. And I'm bringing together some top industry giants. We are co-authoring. It's going to be an amazing material for everyone. Even me, I need it because there are places I want to go to. I need a reference material to show them that now we have something in Nigeria. At the moment, we don't have clear regulation on blockchain. We don't have clear regulation in Nigeria. CBN will say no crypto. SEC will say crypto here, right? It's moving here. Okay. Just hold on with us, guys. We are trying to bring back up the slide. Is this one using? Okay. Please kindly indicate if you can see the slide. You should be able to see the slide now. If you can see the slide, kindly indicate. Okay. All right, so let's continue. I think the slide is back up. Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, so like I was talking about the regulation, we have some challenges, yes. Lack of standardization, interoperability issues, but we have talked about interoperability in one of our classes. That's at an international level, but we are having solutions when it comes to that, okay? Cyber security concerns. Not in this program, but in one other program where that's focused on cybersecurity, we use Patricia as a case study. The Patricia exchange, they were hacked and people lost lots of money. They are still trying to refund investors their money and all that. However, that got to show that cybersecurity is a concern. In some cases, it may not be a hack. It may be internal configuration issues, like what happened to OPay. Did anybody hear what happened to OPay recently? Where in one day, over 740 something million naira in transactions was lost by OPay. I will assuming I sent you 20,000, I sent somebody else 50,000, I sent somebody else 300,000. That's how much, 370,000. I sent 370,000 out to about 3 people, but I still had 370,000 in my account. So those people received money. That means OPay paid those people and they might have withdrawn. I still had 370,000 in my account. I can send that 370,000 to another bank and withdraw the cash. So OPay has lost 740,000, right? 370, my math is right. OPay has lost 740,000 from me alone. How much more? Thousands of other Nigerians. That's what happened sometime last week. That cannot happen on the blockchain. That is double spending. Double spending cannot happen on the blockchain. Why? Because each transaction has a transaction hash. So if you are building on the blockchain, you must check your cyber security, because that might have been a configuration error, right? A bug in their system. But if they have a cybersecurity policy in place that checks transactions, by the time the first, second, third, fourth, 10th transaction happen like that, an alarm would have come up on their system to know that something is going wrong. So maybe just 10 transactions could have been lost. It would have been easy to trace those ones instead of trying to correct thousands of transactions. So you don't want to build an app, especially if it has to do with finance, remittance, and somebody is sending dollars to Nigeria, and Nigerians are withdrawing the money, and that person still has the money. If it is cross-border remittance, it's even far difficult to get the money back. OPay is going to work day and night. They've been working. Imagine what will happen to their head of cybersecurity. Imagine what will happen to their head of payment infrastructure. They will not be sleeping. What of the one that happened in First Bank? So somebody that is in charge of, what is it called? Account reversal, transaction reversal. The person that is supposed to be approving the reversal was not approving it. He was actually approving it, but sending it to another account that he was in charge of. And they said that person defrauded First Bank of how many billions? Billions. Don't just think we are in class. Look at this as your preparation for your company. Because if you are the owner of that business and you wake up in the morning or they call you at 2 a.m. and they say, sir, over 5 billion naira is missing from our company's account. You say, how? We don't know what happened. Maybe it's error in the programming. And people have been making transactions and they've been sending money out and they've been collecting the money from both sender and receiver. Do you think you'll be able to sleep? You won't be able to sleep. And you will not be able to call Mr. Jude because you did not pay me as consultant to your company. So this is the best time to check all this. And you must have cybersecurity policy in place. Let me tell you, even hospitals have been hacked. And you will ask me, what are they looking for in a hospital? Even transportation companies. You'll be asking, what are they looking for in transportation companies and in hospitals? They have credit card details. They have NIN details. If they steal those things, they will sell it in the black market. They will use it to create fake IDs. They will use it to open fake Uber accounts, fake Bolt account. There was one I was reading one yesterday. A lady that opened a fake Bolt Uber account and created multiple accounts, and they were concluding trips that never happened. And they were getting paid from Bolt and Uber. Before they discovered this lady, they said she's a Brazilian. Maybe I'll look for the story and share. Before they discovered her, she had made millions of dollars from them. And she said it was not her fault, that she just saw the opportunity and decided to use it. So if you are opening a ride-hailing business, you must also check, because you are dealing with, at the end of the day, you are dealing with transactions. Blockchain is what can help you put a peg on that. All right. So to overcome such challenges, you need, like your organization, you need to be careful to plan your blockchain implementation. You need to select the appropriate blockchain platform that can help you do that, because in Nigeria, we all use layer 2, layer 3 blockchains to develop our apps. It's quite expensive to use layer 1 blockchain. We don't even have a layer 1 blockchain in Nigeria. We have a few people that have said that they are layer 1 blockchains, like Bantu and Hashgrid and a few of them. But we are still checking what they are doing. It's very expensive to have a layer 1 blockchain. That means you are a native blockchain like Bitcoin, like Ethereum. It is very expensive. So you cannot do that. So if you are using a layer 2 or layer 3 to build your solution, you must carefully check what they are giving you. You must check their cybersecurity. All right. Then you should also work with experienced developers and consultants. If you call me to consult for your business, I will charge you very well, because we are going to check all of this for you. We have a team of beta testers. If you have an app, we'll test your app in and out and give you a full report and let you know if your app is good to go. We also have partners that do audits. Your smart contract will audit it and make sure there's no bug in your contract. All right. There are several successful blockchain implementations that have been developed for various industries in supply chain. Finance is the most common, very common. Almost everybody is doing crypto, payment. So it's very common. Healthcare. I think we've had about 2 friends that came to talk to you on healthcare, DexaCare and HealthGo. We remember, right? Now we have a few people that are doing stuffs in real estate, gaming. That reminds me, there's a friend of mine, maybe I will bring, that will talk to us on sports and gaming, even betting. I have someone that has betting on the blockchain. I have a friend that has some also sports prediction, on the blockchain. They will tell you some of the benefits of all of this. So quickly, let's look at policy and regulation. We're almost done because somebody's going to be joining us. All right, so blockchain technology has gained significant attention, no doubt, right, over the years. And as business executives, you are business executives. I'm talking to CEOs. And I want to see that in the next few months, in the next few years, I want to see projects coming from everybody. And that's why we are doing the capstone projects. Your capstone projects, by the grace of God, we are working on something that will be very amazing for all of us. The capstone project will launch businesses from this class, by the grace of God. And we will try as much as possible to work with you to see that 1 or 2 of those projects will get funding. Because yes, we know it's a challenge, right? So let me leave the juice and come back to policy and regulation. Okay, so we are going to quickly look at the importance of policy and regulation. One of the advantages of policy and regulation, a few of the advantages are, it protects your consumer. I've talked about Patricia, right? And some other, I've talked about Web 2 projects too, like OPay. Your policy, blockchain policy, will protect your consumer. Also, it will talk about your data privacy. There's something we built for a particular client, for a state government, and they called experts from abroad to interview us. What if they hack this website? If they hack the app, will they have access to the data? We told them no. They now said, so where is the data? We said, don't worry. The data is somewhere, but we use an API to link the data to the app and the website. So if you carry the website on your head and run away to Jabi, you will not see any data inside. Okay? If you like, take it to Asokoro, take it to Banex, let them tear the website. Those guys, they behave like computer village boys in Lagos. They did not go to school, but if they have access to your system, they will do wonders. We told them they will not see the data. We worked on our data privacy very strongly because your data is the life of your business. We're able to convince them. I mean, they got Americans to interview us. And we told them, run a penetration test on the product and see if you'll be able to hack it and get the data. They almost tried to hack it. I mean, very good guys. They almost tried, but they told us this is very tight. One thing that will help you is APIs. But there's a friend of mine that wrote something on API security, Confidence Stavely. I think you should get that book. Go on LinkedIn and search her name, Confidence Stavely. Confidence, normal confidence spelling. Then Stavely is Staveley. If you follow her on LinkedIn or even Twitter, Staveley, you see the advert for her book, Confidence Stavely, and you can buy her book on API security. It will help you, right? So that's what we use to connect and also disjoint dependency, total dependency on the app and the website. So if you like, hack it, which in the first place they could not hack it, but let's assume, because nothing is 100% secure, maybe a negligence from a staff, maybe, or even an internal breach, because such can happen. The case of First Bank was an internal breach, internal compromise. If something like that happens, they still cannot get access to the data. So we did all of that to make sure that the solution was safe. You need to put that into your policy so that if an investor comes and they run the test and you give them the test result or whatever, your penetration test, they will have that confidence in your product or your service that nothing can happen to your solution. Fair competition too. In some cases, especially in this blockchain space now, we have seen that your product might be a similar product with somebody else's. How do you go about competition? I came for a meeting and I was in that meeting yesterday. That's why I can be here today. And in the course of the conversation, competition came up. What we are trying to work on, we know 2-3 other people that are also trying to work on it. Nobody has gone live yet. So we have to look for a way to collaborate as against competing. There are some markets that don't use Microsoft. They use Apple strictly. There are some markets that don't use Microsoft, that don't use Apple. They use Microsoft, that is Windows, strictly. There is a client we were talking to, and they said all they needed were Lenovo systems, Lenovo. And we tried to pitch another brand to them. I'm already called brand. So this is in the public domain. We tried to pitch another brand to them, HP, and they said no, they want Lenovo. So we told them the peculiarity of Lenovo as against HP in the Nigerian environment. And when they saw the need, they said, okay, let's go for HP. But they told us, let's still have a few Lenovo. So fair competition. We are not even the manufacturers. We are just third-party integrators. So if you are trying to project your product and your investor asks you, what blockchain do you want to build on? Because we're going to see that. You now tell them you want to build on this blockchain. That investor wants to give you $10 million, and you are there insisting that you must build on another blockchain. That blockchain you want to build on, are they giving you money? This person that wants to give you money is saying, come and build on this blockchain. You have to go and check. What is blockchain A giving me? What is blockchain B giving me? Okay, blockchain B is giving me $10 million, right? The blockchain that blockchain B says I should build on is fast, is scalable, or not too secure. Blockchain A, everybody in the world knows that it is very secure. Should I reject blockchain A and come to blockchain B because blockchain B is funding me with $10 million? Blockchain A, because they are very big, they're not send you. They're not giving any money. But you know that they are very secure. What do you do as a smart business person? You have to look for how to integrate. And you must tell your investors that you are building on fair competition. You are borrowing the security that blockchain A is giving. So you are building on blockchain B for scalability, right? And maybe cheap, low transaction. You must look for a way. You must be a very good lobbyist to tie the two together, because when it comes to actual business delivery, it is not this. The person bringing money will tell you, you must sign this document, you're not walking out of this room. And I've walked out of some deals like that. Yes. But in some cases, I haven't looked at it. Who in Nigeria will give me $10 million? But I know that there's something I can do to make that project work. I will sign it with a clause. You must know how to put in that clause somewhere. Or your dev must be smart enough. You have signed it, fine. Your dev must be smart enough to know how to put in the code that will connect to a more secure blockchain. Because the investors don't even, the truth is, let me not expose. So they don't have the time to go and check your back end. There's an advanced class on product development. I've mentioned it before. But you are not ripe for it yet. When you are ripe for it, we are going to go deep and talk about the business of the business, where we bring people that have raised $300,000, $1 million. Beat Mama, they are my friends. Boundless Pay. By the way, by 9 p.m. this evening, I don't know if I have the time, I have an AMA with Boundless Pay on Twitter. Maybe I'll tell admin to share it in the group. They said they want to ask me some questions about African payment system. So I don't know what they will ask. We'll just talk about it. So they've raised money. House Africa is going to speak with us maybe very soon, hopefully. They've raised money. All of them are friends I can just call now and they'll come and tell us how they raise money. They cannot tell you some things. Boundless Pay raised $15 million. The whole country went agog. But there were some things that happened behind the scene. And that deal did not fly. I called him and said, bro, what's going on? He said, my brother, there are things that we cannot say in the public. But if we have such master classes, I'm sure he'll be able to come and tell you about it. All right? Yes, we have regulatory oversight. It's necessary to ensure compliance, to protect your stakeholders, address potential risk, and other associated blockchain issues. The challenges of regulation in blockchain, I've said it already. Policymakers also face the task of striking a balance. There needs to be a balance in fostering innovation and safeguarding public interest. I've said it over time. Regulation is not to stifle. Regulation is to enhance business operations. So we are at the receiving end of regulation because we are not regulators. But we can also lend a voice to the regulators to say, this economy belongs to everybody. If you make it difficult for me, at the end of the day, it will circle back to you. So regulation is collaborative. And gradually, we are glad that government is seriously looking into regulation and it's going to become better by the day. The Securities and Exchange Commission of Nigeria has a new DG and he's seriously looking into digital assets, crypto, and the financial markets. And we know that they are working hand in hand with the CBN and other stakeholders to make sure regulation on this ecosystem, the blockchain ecosystem, becomes very clear for everybody. We don't want a situation where you finish studying this wonderful program, you go ahead and you bring out a good project, and regulation now becomes the challenge to scale it, right? So we're working on it, and by the grace of God, we are going to see a brighter day, okay? We've touched on all of this, we've touched on compliance and the rest of them. There's something that I saw very early this morning. I was checking my news, and I saw a case involving Paxful. It's an old case, but they brought it back up, where they said Paxful is guilty of KYC, know your customer, compliance issues. That Paxful allowed millions of people, like Africans, Nigeria is their biggest market, They said Nigeria has traded how many $1,000,000 or so, that's billions of naira on Paxful without KYC. That's a huge offense. Now, the challenge is some years ago, there was no need for KYC regulation. Nobody was talking about it in the blockchain or crypto space. So it was free for all. It was jamboree, everybody were doing the way they like. But now that regulation is coming, they are going to open the curtain and check what had happened behind the stage before. So I don't want you to say because regulation is not clear, you now do as you like. No, follow the standard, anti-money laundering standard, follow it. Anybody that wants to use your platform, let them register. So that tomorrow, if a new sheriff comes to town and they say, open your door, that's not when you want to hide something under the cupboard. Tell them, come in. When they see that you are clear, you will have the ease of doing business. That will be my joy. I don't want to hear or read in the news tomorrow that one of you launched a project and government is chasing you and you now have to run to Ghana or Sierra Leone or Togo. That's what is happening. Many of our friends that do not follow regulation, they've run out of Nigeria. And if you have traveled, you know that outside Nigeria is not the same. You can stroll anywhere here. There's discrimination everywhere, no doubt. But in your home, you can. VIO stopped us this morning as we were coming. I challenged the guy. Who dare me to challenge a foreign security officer that I don't know? I challenged VIO this morning. I said, this can go public anywhere because what the guy did was wrong. We were in the middle of the way, a freeway coming here. The road was free. You don't expect us to be doing 15 kilometers per hour. It's not inside the campus. So we're doing 40, 45, which was even still slow. And this man just appeared less than 20 meters from us and did his hand like this. We managed to stop. I told the driver, wind down immediately, and I warned him. The federal government that puts you on the road has put you here to represent them, but you should have the human common sense for your own life. You don't jump on the middle of the road and stop an oncoming vehicle just like that at a very short distance. Vehicles are mechanical. What if the brake fails? God forbid. Who will you blame? And I told him, I said, this car has a dash cam, it has a camera, so it has already recorded what happened. By the way, what is your name? No name. What is your tag? Your service number? No service number. Though he told me his name verbally, he saw the wrong and said, we are sorry, sir. I say you can move. Let's leave that for another day. Okay, so international and regional regulations. If your business is growing and growing and growing and growing, and they start calling you to come to Kenya, because Kenya loves blockchain and crypto a lot. They call you to come to Ghana. They call you to come to different places to expand. You need to know the laws there. Don't just say because in Nigeria, we will jail you. And Nigeria, we are not even operating anyhow anymore. Things are becoming better. Compliance with cross-border regulations and navigating the legal complexities of international transactions are key. There are challenges that must be addressed. So yes, we have challenges there, but you must learn the laws of any land you want to go to, so that you don't invest money there, and in a few months, you have to abandon everything and start running back home, right? So developing effective regulatory compliance strategy, you should consider transparency, accountability, and auditability. Many at times, we've seen people complain that it is my business. Why do they want to audit it? My friend, the moment you start collecting money from somebody, the moment you start asking somebody to type in name, email, phone number, address, it is no more your business. It is now public business. There's something we call NDPR, Nigeria Data Protection Regulation or regulatory body. It's a commission too. The moment you start collecting people's data, it is no more your business. It is now public business, so they can come and audit you. Facebook, now Meta, was called for audit Why? They were accused of selling data to advertising companies. And he could not say, it is my company, I'm not going. My friend, you will go. Because you are collecting information from people. That information is not yours. If you are called to build an app for a hospital, or you have built a health management solution and the hospital is using it, or 10, 20, 30 hospitals are using it. Maybe you build a solution for HMO and you put it on the blockchain. It is not your company. That HMO you are using can say, please, we want to audit your app, and you must provide them access to audit it. So you must have all this regulatory compliance in place. If not, they can shut down the business that you sweat to start. They can tell government to shut it down. Some of these micro loan businesses that started some years ago, 2 years ago, it was almost everywhere. Last year, it was even worse. But NITDA have been able to sanction most of them. CBN has also said those that don't have licenses should stop operating. Some say, oh, it's their business, it's their business. Where are they today? I know a few of them that have disappeared because they don't follow regulation. So you don't want to build a blockchain project that is anti-regulation, because you are not the government. The government is the authority of the land. So you must work in line with government and make sure you are in the right side of the law. By adopting best practices and industry standards, your business can ensure compliance with regulatory requirements and build trust with stakeholders. Stakeholders are your users, stakeholders are your employees, stakeholders are your investors, stakeholders is the government, stakeholders is your family and friends. Because when some of our friends that are CEOs had problems, we could not sleep because they were calling us. So stakeholders are also your family and friends. Make sure you follow regulatory compliance that will not give us headache, right? So same story here, making policies that will help you and all of that. So the future of blockchain policy and regulation is in an area of ongoing development. That's why, by God's grace, hopefully by October, the book will be out. We're going to be launching it. We want to see if we can launch it during the Tokenized Economy conference. And if we have an opportunity to also present it during Digital Nigeria, we'll also do that, right? So it is an ongoing development. So get books, read books on regulation. When our ads come out, we'll also give you to read. But you also enjoy regulation in the class. We have a class for that. So we'll talk more. The blockchain fundamentals is introduction into blockchain generally. So I've talked about programming a bit, I've talked about crypto a bit, I've talked about regulation a bit, I've talked about community management a bit. We'll still go into compliance, policy, and regulation as a full class, all right? So let's come to the future of blockchain, which is the very last topic on blockchain fundamentals. I think we are doing well. Let me just see if, okay. Our friend is joining soon. Jerry is here. So Jerry, welcome. Just wait a bit. Jerry, can you hear me? Okay. He's going to be joining us soon.
I can hear you clearly.
So see how we can wrap up. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Just give us a few minutes and you come on stage now. Okay, so because Jerry is here, we're going to quickly just rush through this. This is very short. The future of blockchain. So blockchain is still in its early stage. It's still in its early, not like medicine that have been on for over 100 years. Blockchain is still young. It's still well over 20 years. Since 2009, or we can say 2005, when the iteration started, but the first transaction happened in 2009. So we can still say 2009 was the first time blockchain came mainstream, right? So by 2029, it will be 20 years, right? Isn't it? So we are still in 2024. So we still have 5 more years. So blockchain is still about 15 years. Even if you say we want to start counting from 2005, it's still under 20 years. So it's still a new technology. So we can still catch up, right? You can even still become an industry leader, okay? So it's important to stay informed about emerging trends. 5 years ago, we're not talking about Web3, we're not talking about NFT, we're not talking about metaverse. We're just doing normal transactions. But today, we've matured enough. So when we even started this class, you see that I did not waste too much time talking about what is blockchain, because I mean, it's now elementary. By next year, compliance will be coming on main stage. Compliance will become a big topic by next year. So when you come into a conversation, you will not see people talking about what is, no. You start going into bigger applications, use cases of blockchain. And that is where Nigeria is. Nigeria is looking at the use cases, the actual application of blockchain. So you must stay informed, stay ahead, all right, to make sure that you operate at a leading level in blockchain. What are the emerging trends to focus on? Scalability, interoperability. Interoperability is what? Compliance, or compatibility rather. Interoperability is compatibility. How this blockchain can talk with this blockchain. If you are using security from this blockchain and you want to use maybe scalability from this other blockchain, you want to use storage from one other blockchain, how do you make them compatible to talk with one another? Okay, you must know that. That is where we are going. Decentralized finance, that's also something to focus on, because centralized exchanges now they are facing issues, compliance issues all over the world. In fact, even decentralized exchanges are going to come under compliance soon, because they are really, government is really looking into all the activities. So even if you are considering decentralized finance, which is DeFi, you must also bring compliance, policy and regulation into consideration, okay? Even if you are doing peer-to-peer transaction like Passful was doing, you must consider all of this. Regulation and policy, focus on that. Those are the future emerging trends that you need to consider. In the past, people were not really focusing on regulation, but right now you need to focus on regulation. So in conclusion, the future of blockchain technology is exciting, right? It's full of potential and opportunities, okay? But you need to also consider other wide range of business, industry and business models, because it's becoming mature. Okay, so by staying informed and proactive about blockchain trends and development, businesses and individuals can position themselves for success in the years to come. So with this, we have been able to conclude our course on blockchain fundamentals. I appreciate each and every one of you for staying with us till this time. It has been a very interesting conversation, and I commend you all for making sure that you finish it, because starting is not the issue, finishing is the issue. So congratulations to each and every one of you. Let me see. Yes. Less than 10 minutes. Wow. Okay. Jerry, can you hear us? Hello,
Yeah,
Jerry.
I can hear very clearly.
Excellent. Okay, so quickly, Jerry is going to tell us about the ICP blockchain, the Internet Computer Protocol. Then we will discuss more about it in our subsequent classes. So, Jerry, you have the floor.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Just to confirm, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you, Jerry.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Really glad to be here. And trust you're all doing great. Thank you so much, Mr. Jude, for the opportunity. I won't be taking much of your time today. All I'm meant to do here is just to introduce you to the ICP, and also specifically the Deca hack, the ICP Deca hack, where we're supporting people building the ecosystem. So basically, ICP is full name like Internet Computer Protocol, and it's like a blockchain infrastructure where you can build sustainable, or like say scalable solutions, decentralized solutions on the blockchain. For ICP Hub Sahara, our goal is to help and support builders in the ecosystem to build scalable blockchain solutions that are industry centric. What I mean by industry centric is are solving core problems for the end user in the industry, and users are willing to adopt. And we have what we call the ICP Deca hack, which will be working directly with Mr. Jude, right, to onboard people from Abuja and environs, right? So the Deca hack majorly, the focus is to bring together the best builders across the the, the, the country, right? And to select the best and give them access to grants, support, and also um, the right resources to thrive. We've had the first Deca Hack session, which brought together over 15 finalists across um, 14 states in Nigeria. So that happened like earlier this year in April, and all teams, 15 teams, convened in Abuja earlier this year, and we were able to pick 5 teams, which went away with $5,000 US dollars grant. That was in April, and all the teams are now actively building on the ICP scalable solutions, to be precise. Some of these teams, I will just be running through some of the projects being built on ICP currently. We have PropSpace. PropSpace is helping, will I say, driving at fractional ownership, right? So basically, with PropSpace, you can own assets, physical assets like land properties on PropSpace, and if you don't have like let's say enough liquidity to buy like a full plot of land, you can have like a fraction of it and own an asset of land, right, with the little funds you have access to. And that's what Prosper is trying to drive, creating opportunities for fractional ownership across different asset classes. We have what we call Rollbox. We have IC bots. Basically, Rollbox is helping to streamline payments for freelancers across the globe and Africa. So global freelancing platforms um, and global companies can now seamlessly pay to African talents, right? And the cash outs, or like say, the payouts in their local currencies. So imagine you're working for companies in Rwanda, in US, in UK, in Canada, and a couple of other supported countries. You can now seamlessly receive payments from those global companies and cash outs, or like say payouts in your local currencies. We also have Certify. Certify's goal is to drive authenticity for institutions and also for students, right? And streamlining the process for streamlining the process for credential verification across board. So basically, if you're submitting, for most of you, I mean, maybe going to apply for universities in Canada, United States, UK, right? And you understand the entire process of verifying those your credentials, right? So what Certify is trying to drive at is seeing how they can sustainably create a process whereby, I mean, all your academic credentials on the blockchain, and with just a click, right, global institutions can verify those credentials, and it seamlessly drives authenticity and also for scaling Africa's infrastructure across board. One key thing we're very bent on in ICP Hub Sahara is to support builders in the ecosystem, and that's why even aside from the Deca Hack initiative, we have what we call the iCode initiative to train developers for free. And obviously, these developers actually get paid for learning how to build on the blockchain, right? So we have different cohorts going across cities. We've had in Lagos, we've had in Ogun State, we've had in Osun State. This month we'll be at OAU for roughly 2 weeks training devs there to build up sustainable blockchain solutions in ICP. Next month we should be at FUTA, we should be at Uniport training developers there, and we're just scaling this effort across board because we understand that, I mean, Web3, decentralized finance, and the entire ecosystem is very vital to the growth of the economy, especially for Africa, right? It lowers the barrier to entry for anybody to compete globally, right? So, willing to, or will I say, we are looking forward to directly supporting startups and builders over there in base, and working directly with Mr. Jude to see how we can synchronize efforts to support every single thing you're doing. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Jerry. So a quick recap is what we are trying to do is, hello, one house. Thank you. So what we are trying to achieve with this collaboration is a scenario where your capstone projects will eventually become a pitch that you will come and present it as a team, right? In-house first, we'll select the best of the best of the best, the best of the best of the best. I will send you link to previous Deca Hack competitions where winners, some groups, some teams got up to $5,000 as winners, and ICP is funding that. So beyond getting the grant, it's a grant, beyond getting the grant, you also be supported to build on the ICP blockchain. So when I was giving the analogy of blockchain A and blockchain B, I was referring to this, right? So when that time comes, we'll work with the winning teams to see how that can be achieved. We'll also give you, you heard him when he said that, he said they do trainings, right? So you'll be shown how to build on the ICP blockchain. I've seen a scenario where a startup built on the blockchain, not an MVP now, a product that was already in the market. In fact, they had raised about $200,000 or about $100,000. Another blockchain came to fund them with about $300,000, and that blockchain told them to move. So they migrated to a new blockchain. So don't be too rigid. Don't say because you are built on one blockchain, you don't want to move to another. Let me tell you, you are not the owner of any blockchain. So when it comes to the business, it's just like saying that you buy a Mercedes Benz and you don't want to drive it on Aminu Kano Road. Are you the owner of the road? Drive your car and go where you are going. Tomorrow, if you want to drive along Jabi, drive. So look at the core provisions of a solution and run with it. Don't be too rigid. Some of us were rigid years back, and all these newbies, they came and started tapping and they made millions, and we are doing fundamentals. So that's basically it. So because of time, I'm in Bayes University for those of us that are online. So we are pressed for time. So we have to wrap up now. The conversation from ICP will continue next week by God's grace. It's going to be continuous because from August into September, you start working on your capstone project. From the list of those that wrote the quiz, the exam, that's where we are going to do our grouping, because we cannot group people that we did not see. So those that wrote exam, whether you put your student number or not, whether you pass or not, we're going to put you into groups. We're going to give you topics to work on, and you start researching on it. So Jerry and other teams in the ICP community in Africa, they're going to be working with us. We also have other schools joining. So competitors are coming from Nile University, competitors are coming from Veritas University, competitors are coming from University of Abuja. So it's not only Bayes University. So it's going to be keenly contested. That's why we say we are picking only the best of the best to go for the finals. And we are looking at October 4th for the finals, the second day of the conference, where the winners, the finalists will come and pitch their projects, and the top 3 or maybe the top 5 will be selected and given the grant. I don't know how much they're going to give this time around, but last time they gave up to $5,000, so may the best team win. So thank you, everyone. Thanks to Bayes University, World Bank, Ministry of Education, NITDA, who else? My boss, Dominion Blockchain Solutions. And thanks to all of you for making time to be here. Next week, we are starting a new topic, so make sure you come on time, and let's see how far we run with it. The slide is already in your Google Drive. As of last week, we dropped it there. So please do your revision. We're going to be having a second quiz for this. First quiz was from topic chapter 1 to 6. So second quiz from chapter 7 to 12. 20 questions, Very easy. Congratulations, everyone, and see you next time. God bless you.